Okay, well, if you thought I was being a wimp for not wanting to push little switches around, um, let me show you the program that you have to type in. That's their monitor program. So this is the first program. So the way that they do it is you actually just type in a program at a time, and then you make sure it works, because you're probably going to make a mistake. So this is program one, um, and then once you get that running, then you continue with program two. Here's program two, goes quite a ways. And then once you get that working, then you continue with program three. So these kind of go in sequentially. So now we're up to 00D7. Um, it keeps going. Once you get that working, then you put in program four. Program four has lots more stuff. We're up into the 01 area. So we're over 256 instructions. And then you have to put in some additional areas. You have to program these bit patterns, which get copied up into RAM. So that's a bunch of them. Then you have to go um, and put in these two tables for the LEDs and a jump table. So there's a whole lot of stuff you need to do. So let me show you how I did that more easily than flipping little switches. All right, so in MiniPro, you can examine a file. I've uploaded a file here, or not uploaded, I've loaded a file. Um, and you can actually do editing here. So let's say start here. You can actually just type in new hex things, and they'll show as red because it shows that you've changed them. So I just went ahead and typed in all of that program that I showed you in the instruction manual there. So it goes all the way up here into 128. So yeah, lots and lots of data. So it's all in there now. But it's much easier just to type it in than to flip little switches. You can actually put in ASCII here too if you want to. You can go over here and edit. You can click on this button. You can say like so now it puts in the ASCII equivalents of things. So it's a nice little thing, and then you can just save it and program it and put it in your machine. So that's the way I did things to make it easy.
All right, here's the board. Have the part programmed. When we turned it on, we get a 00. And now we can use the buttons. So we can hit like a address high, address low. We can actually type in a value and then hit that. We can do a read. So at 00 is the value C3. If we hit read again, 6000, and if you looked at that program, that's what was there. So we can jump into address space. Let's see here. Now these buttons do not work like they should. So there we go. The 9 worked. Let's say address low, and now that's value 3. Now we can F. Oh, great. See, it didn't really work. So you should be able to do a reset, which works. You can change the address high, 8 bits for high, 8 bits for low. Data address, I'm not sure what that is. And then read, you can do single step, you can do go, run a program, things like that. So these keypads just don't work well for me though. So they might be corroded, something like that. If I want to do like I just can't get the 4 key to work. This row seems to be, oh there we go, 7 seems to work. Yeah, there we go, A worked. Yeah, I just don't think it works very well. A 0 worked. Anyway, I think it's kind of a fail. Even if it did work, I don't think it'd be much fun. Rather just do an emulator or something online. Keypad is really quite bad, at least on this particular device. I think it was valuable though. So what's my recommendations for this board now that I'm kind of done with it? My recommendation would be if you are wanting to learn hardware, I think it's a good thing to do, because you do learn a lot about talking to this chip without the 8085 even in the circuit, using the board itself to talk to the address lines and the data lines and the read-write lines and things like that to get the chip working, both I/O-wise and memory-wise and things like that. So I think that's quite valuable. Getting used to the idea of a latched address, that's probably good hardware-wise. And as far as actual 8085, I don't think you're going to learn a lot here, because you're not going to be able to do much programming. Now you could write your own little programs and bypass their monitor program, so maybe that's okay. If you want to write your own programs, maybe have it count, maybe read switches and have it do things. That might be fun. But in general, I think it's I don't think I would recommend it. Get yourself something like the 8085 single board computer. I think you'll get a lot more out of it if you're just wanting to program it and learn programming type things. Like I said, I think this is better for maybe hardware. So if you're not familiar with bus-oriented hardware, then this might be an okay thing to have. But in general, I didn't pay much for it because I got it busted and made an offer. So I think they go for about $130 typically. I got this one for $50. Anyway, it was sort of fun to play with. It's interesting. There's some kind of quirkiness in the hardware, but maybe that's good too, teaching you different hardware things. Maybe it gives you bad habits though. But in general, my synopsis is okay for hardware, not so good for software. Price is okay.